Welcome to Rap Religion the Cell. I'm out here with Tyson S.T.
You already know what it is.
What's good, bro? How you feeling?
Nah, I've been living, man. Straight. Like,
living?
Straight living.
Explain to me, how's life been nowadays?
Well, as of late, positive. Positive as hell. Like, since the last release,
Yeah.
very positive. Like, I'm not even with that negative energy no more. I'm straight, man.
But there's like a lot of negative things to talk about in your music. It's like a contradiction.
Yeah. But that don't mean I'm negative. Yeah.
We'll get into it. But I
Yeah.
need you to introduce yourself to the listeners who don't know you. Describe yourself in 3 words.
I go by the name Tyson S.T. The S.T. is for Saber-Telly. Plain and simple, I sound like a punch every single song. A fist in the face. But the good kind. We move like that. Yeah.
Alright, word. So, with your influences and your inspirations, how did you pick up your style? Because you say you are about the punches, and I actually hear that in your delivery, in your aggression, and the type of lines and that you make. How did you get to that point?
Well, growing up around like my parents aren't like musicians or stuff like that. My parents are very average parents, the usual stuff. But my mom and dad love 50 Cent. Lots of 50 Cent. That's what we grew up on. Like even as a kid, like it was the thing to go to the record shop and just like chill there, listen to this stuff. And no, we can listen to everything else, but we know we're leaving with a 50 Cent CD. Always. All 50 releases that were mainstream, we have them at my house. And then stuff like Biggie and DMX. So I feel like that had a play on me. Like,
DMX?
Yeah, big time DMX.
The tone, the cadence, I can see it now. Now that you say DMX. When you get
it wasn't even like that he's responsible for like my voice sounding like this. It's just growing up knowing that these are the guys I look up to. These are the guys that look like thugs. That was the image you're trying to portray. Basically just trying to be as rugged as possible. Just very not bitchy.
Moving back towards speaking about like change between your albums, right? When you release Cyber, in the music you can tell there's a lot of negative things you're dealing with, death, and a lot of pessimism, just in general. You try to be positive, but sometimes like if I'm not 25 and I don't have a house, you do say things like that. But a lot of it is drenched in like real shit. Like to get to that point where you change at now and at your service, what changed?
More like the environment changed. The environment that I was making Saber in and the environment I was making the recent tape with Soul. Shout out my nigga. More like the period I was making Saber, it was the worst time in my life. We had lost everything. Like, let's say like shit was fucked up in school. Shit was fucked up with like friends passing, and then also the whole losing our music and shit. So Saber was like a fresh start. Even though we were working on it before we lost the files, the only song that like stayed was even a single, like Porsches and shit. So the period we made Saber was just like get this anger out, get all that feeling out, that last push of emotions, and then the stuff coming after that, like it'll be none of that. It's more fun, it's more focused. So that's why with At Your Service, once that was out and I was in a good mood, and then Soul's shit was out and he was in a great mood, we're just like, yo, when you free, when you back, when you land in the city, because I'm still gonna be here. I don't leave Seaside. Yeah, I don't leave Seaside. So he was like, as soon as I'm free and he's free, he's there. So I hit him up. I was just like, cool, one sesh. All we need is one sesh. That's it. And then we just locked in. We're chill. We weren't even talking about the tape. We're conversating about like how dudes are using anxieties and everything else to lower their like excuse for not dropping. We just gonna put shit out. We don't care. That's where we at right now. We so good and happy, like inside we sound full. That's why we can do anything right now, put everything out. We knocked out the tape in, say 4 hours actually. And then we had a full on conversation about everything else, just chilling.
And but what was interesting to me about At Your Service chemistry, like are you and Soul actually like friends?
Oh yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. That's my homie. Cause it's dudes you know from like when music was bubbling in Pretoria, you see certain names coming up on different social medias and friends talking about different people. My name wasn't in discussions. Niggas don't like me like that. My name wasn't in discussion. So I fought to have my name in that discussion by default. So them niggas' names was already there, and so was that one dude who always stood out for me. So we just became cool. I never ever forced to make music with him. He was just always cool. And then he'd lock in with my friends, and I'd be like, I'm pulling up too. Became my boy like that.
And how
Steady
did
shit.
you guys work on your sound to get it sound so cohesive? Like even the songs, like the last year,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
back to back,
Yeah.
two lines, the whole flow switches and all of that. Like it doesn't sound like you guys were competing. It just sounded like you guys wanted to make the best product that you can. Like both of y'all, I've seen both of you guys do hooks on the album.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought, when I thought of this, when I listened to it, I thought that it was probably something that you guys did on purpose. That maybe you guys decided, okay, you can come in with the hook, and then the other person does the verses and all that. But it sounded super, super decent.
I hear you, right? But like, a lot of dudes don't know that soul is an automatic machine. You play a beat, he's like, yeah, I got some. He right now, he look at something, he gets two verses on every beat. Then he thinks. And me, by default, I don't write like before I land in the studio or something like that. I write while the beat's there or whatever. And the first thing I do is think of a hook. So when it came to making this tape, we were just like, bro, let's combine our energy. And because he's West Side all day, West Side. You already know. So I was like, nah, we're running with your sound. Let's look at it like this is Snoop and Dr. Dre. Let's go for that West Side bounce. That's why on that track Living you hear that weird bob. Cause like I was like, we can't do my shit. My shit is too it's ragey. It's well people think it's ragey.
Well, both of them are produced by Doshi.
Exactly.
But like, again, Doshi also changed the sound from previous project.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
From Cyber to Magic Service. They don't sound anything like production. There's bounce, because Doshi has bounce. But the way he uses 808s, even melodies, even the choice of arrangement is pretty much different compared to what happened on Cyber.
Yeah, and that was the aim. That was the main aim here because if dudes pay attention, Saber, the main sound of it was like my boy Al. Like Al controlled like the forefront of it, like just driving the emotions and the anger. That was the whole key words, anger, and it sounded like a punch. Now, since this is with soul, I was like, nah, we're not going for my sound. We're not driving my sound. We're going for something we can do together. So that's why we were like West Side Sound, Bounce. It's gonna be like Snoop and Dre. Let's go at it like that. So when he was down, we're just like, we'll just get beats. Don't worry, we'll chill. We chilled. We were having full out conversations while they were making the beats, and we're just like, yeah, that's the one. Then he's like, what you trying to do? I'm like, nah, I'll do the hook. Don't worry. Then I stood up, knock out the hook. He knock out a verse. Oh, he do the hook and verse on this one record, and he was like, he just wants me to rap, and that's what I do. We clock in. That's what we both know.
And you guys like, not force content, but did you guys think about what you were trying to do on the song? For example, Mama, Peace, like there's certain content inside that is pretty specific to both of you. Like, even in the song where you spoke about the loss of your friend,
Yeah.
he also spoke about the loss of his grandparents. It felt like it was something that you guys decided to do together. Like you thought it through. Like this is the concept of the song. Is that the creative process?
In a way, like it happened unintentionally. That's how I know me and him are in sync. Because when I was making my tape, I never told him about the theme, like Sabe. I never told him the theme, but the theme overall being religion and fighting anger and finding God again. And then you get his tape, for God's sake, it's basically religious also. So and he done it unintentionally. He told me the name a while back when I was doing the album art for it, and then yeah, I did that. That's how in sync we are. I done hella arts that didn't make for God's sake, but like we were very specific about what we wanted. And then when it came to this tape, since both our projects were about the same stuff, and the how close they were when they came out and how close they were when we started this tape, we were just like we never even planned it. We just knew the theme was gonna be exactly that. Like if he came on the track with this energy, I knew I had to match it, and it came easily. If I came on with this vibe, he knew. Like, all right. When I came with that, he's like, okay, I'll do this. That's why I had to delete my second verse on All Right. I was just like, that's not needed. The homie's doing that shit, and we made it work.
When I pay attention to your lyrics,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shots. Not directly at a person, but it seems to be an industry. I think you kind of feel slighted about how niggas view you right now? Because I know you think you're better than everybody. But what is your overall opinion on the state of rap in South Africa and later Pretoria?
Um, everything's actually great, very great.
It's a fucking lie.
Music people, like music people, people doing shit right now. They doing great for them. That's the best they can do right now, and it's not a bad thing for me because this ain't the best I can do. That's the thing. Like people have barely heard my original sound, my main sound, my the sound that's gonna get me there. So for them, I'm really happy for them. I just like I'm a bitch in a way. I like to poke. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no fun if someone's not poking. Like you need someone to hate, and I'll take that role. But like no one hates me directly in public. That is. So yeah, not much.
It's not that deep to you. Just some subliminals. Nothing too heavy is directed at certain people.
Nah, not at all. No subliminal.
Are you sure?
Nah, straight up.
This time,
This
I like
time.
that. Previous one was different, ain't it?
Yeah,
But we're not gonna do that because we did sort out that situation, right?
yeah. I'm a peaceful guy. I'm positive as hell right now. We all eat.
Seeing as you've had possibility of signing to labels, what do you think about labels currently? Do you think it would be a viable thing for you to do, to sign to one?
Most definitely.
Why so?
That ass, cause when it comes to my brand and the shit I'm trying to push, I know just how I am and how I move. I can't do everything on my own. Like people forget that there's formalities that comes to this music thing, and you need backing. You need a team. You can recruit yourself, get all of that, but to go further, to keep going, to be consistent, you do need a smart enough label, one that has your best interests at heart. You know.
But do labels really have anybody's best interest at heart? Because they always about the bottom line.
I feel like when it comes to music, people have this one-sided view on labels. Is that they're here to fuck you over, they're here to get money. You're just an object to them, a money maker. And it's business. Business is business. It gets to that point. But like if you treat the product right, and you're the artist, you're the product, you're the label's product. They treat you right, and you're making fire product. There's none of this admin. There's none of this problem.
I disagree. There's been many people like who have been in situations where they're making a lot of good music, but they can't get it out. Like Lil Uzi Vert as Playboy Cardi, those niggas, I know they have hits in the stash, and they can't get it out because the label. So what's your?
I can debate that because what they labels done for them, making them established artists known worldwide. Like we know them now. Before they were just SoundCloud artists, we never knew them. They labels are responsible for them getting Grammy nominations, different large festival performances, albums with notable features, albums with Billboard placements. The label done all of that. Like where you were when they signed you, you weren't the artist you are now. So now you're demanding privileges and certain rights to your music that by the time you signed, like your brand wasn't that strong. It's stronger now. Okay, cool. You can negotiate that, but you don't just go out your way and just backlash the label that made you what you not made you what you are, but put you here.
What you hear?
So I really disagree with labels. Labels have like when it comes to your brand, you gotta be responsible for your brand. Just at the end of the day, just do what needs to be done. Punch in and punch out.
Yeah, but
You're a
here's
worker.
my overall issue, right? Remember I told you like last week I had that friend who was overseas and they were at some labels and they were having discussions for themselves about publishing. They refused to actually give the person their publishing, and they were trying to basically look for 360 deals. And that's pretty much the whole South African industry as a whole.
Yeah.
So how would you think that'll be beneficial to you? Yes, they can put you in better positions, but if it's a 360 deal, is it really viable for you in the long run? Because I think you'll be looking at the short just trying to blow if you're trying to go to a label right now. Because long term, what? You're not going to have your residuals right, your royalties right, the splits aren't great, you don't own your publishing, you don't own your masters, you don't have enough leverage. If that person doesn't have enough leverage, that means nobody does, quite frankly.
I can say something there. Like, it's just the risk you have to take with your brand, I guess. Like, the label can own that music you're making during that time, but you know your brand will grow from there. Like, let me use Reese as an example. I fucking respect Reese. Reese made all that fire, lengthy track, that lengthy tracks on that ambitious project
Yeah.
that he put out. Was it Paradise One? Yeah, yeah, that. And then he don't even sing a single song. It's not even because label vud. You don't own. He just knows that no, I'm not gonna make money for them using that music I put out. They can own that. It's fine. I'm gonna make better shit, and he did. You just gotta trust in your brand. Follow like a business. Punch in, punch out. Give them what they need. That was a perfect moment. They own parts of this song. I own parts of this song. And then from then on, you can negotiate with your brand onto the next label. Like, okay, I'm a bigger artist now because I was there. I completed my projects with them. I don't own all that music, but like my new deal with you, my brand is bigger now. We can negotiate better terms. 80/20 on some Master P shit, or people start their own stuff and they fully own it. So it all depends on moving in this industry. Play the game, follow it, and have fun while you're at it. Like I can't be mad at labels.
Considering all the acclaim you've gotten for Cyber and how you basically released this project with Soul on At Your Service, what do you think about Tyson ST is gonna differentiate you in the future?
Wow, that's a tough one. Cause already the way I deliver my shit, the way I sound, the way I move in, if you can even call this an industry, the way I move is it differs to everyone else in the sense that I'm more open, I'm more blunt about everything. I'm not about to play the antics. I'm gonna play the game, but I'm not about to play the game antics. I'm not with that dumb shit. I'm very honest with myself and the people who choose to listen to me. Whether that's in the music and in front of the camera or off the camera, I'm still the same person. So I feel like that's what will push my brand like further. That's it.
And what are your next moves after this?
More music. Definitely more music. Even though I say, nah, that's the project, that's it, I'm done. I'm retired. More music. Always. All I'm saying is there's no vault this year. For everyone watching, there's no vault this year. Everything is coming out with everybody. That
Everybody, so there's multiple collaboration projects.
I never said that.
You just said with everybody.
I never said everybody. But stuff is coming from all cylinders. From all cylinders. Dead ass.
You shooting at niggas?
Nah. Yeah.
Tyson ST, I loved having this discussion with you. There's a lot of things that are coming out from you that I've already heard in the background. That's coming really soon and it's really hot. And I already know the way that you maneuver in this industry. Things are gonna be moving well and progressing well in your career. But I need one thing before you leave though.
I knew it.
Of course, what the fuck you think this is, bro? Definitely. I need that freestyle, bro.
Yeah, I don't
You
give
got
people, I don't give people free shit, but I got like a few seconds.
Don't spit Soldier Boy lines, nigga.
Nah, nigga, I'm clean. I'm always clean.
Don't do that. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, shout out. Shrek, yeah. 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 I'm right where I said I'll be last year. Had to make a call, you know that business is mad here. When you make the best songs without singers, it adds fear. The nerve of you to threaten us, this nigga this past year. The nerve of you to threaten us with pitiful things. You ain't a shooter, you a nigga with a sewing machine. I know stitches, mad ties when I get in between. Bullets go inside where you breathe. Nigga, I'm lifting right shit with my fist. That's some power couple shit. You know when powers just dip the sheds. I'm outside, I leave them in bed. Lay out the grave and I'm coming for heads. You know, shots fly separate. Girls text me separate. Outside their cribs, I'm parked out like 11. I walk inside, do my thing, and I dip. I'm outside, you know, parked in the whip, you know. Big saber, big shrug, and I always been the motherfucking ape of the block. And I always been the motherfucking greatest from the stock. And I always been that nigga you can hate from the flock. I seen bird shit dip off, hate niggas been on. And I talk that shit, you know, wings I lift off. Yeah, I'm to the ground with it. It's like the grave, that be my ground business. R.I.P. nigga. Shout out.